Just
All right, we're starting.
okay.
So, hey everybody, it's Paul Dojcinovic from eXp Realty and Best Calgary Real Estate Deals, where we provide the right real estate advice for you. Today, we're interviewing our local lawyer that specializes in real estate, wills, and estates. He's helped me with a lot of my clients' files, and the clients are raving about the quality of the law firm and the services that are provided. So, thanks. Do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thanks, Paul. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. My name is Zac Shlah. I'm originally from Calgary and grew up here. I've started my law practice in South Calgary about 8 years ago, and it's been a great opportunity experience. I've really enjoyed giving back to the community and servicing, existing friends and new people, new clients through my referral network.
And I think that's how we met, right? It was a referral of a mutual client, and they said that no, they have their real estate lawyer that they've gone to before, and he's done a really good job. So I'm like, okay, well, I might as well meet you, right? So during that transaction process, when we were representing the same client, they introduced me to you, and I think we've been working together for a couple of years now. So
Yeah, that's correct.
So I want to talk about the current state of what's going on. I do want to reference in respect to our industry, real estate primarily. How has this affected your business before COVID, during COVID? What's happening? Like what's changed? And then I want to talk to you briefly about what you think is going to be happening moving forward. A new normal. What do you see as a new normal for your business?
Right. So before it was business as usual. Things were busy. We were closing lots of deals, and from the onset of the COVID situation, what initially happened is, we the lawyers are usually a couple months behind the deal flow of the realtors, so we still saw a busy April. But now we're coming into May, and we see what's coming in June, and there's a significant slowdown.
Yeah.
I believe this slowdown will persist until the market adapts to our situation. So already the Law Society has allowed for video conference signings, which is something brand new and came about as a result of the COVID situation.
Can you explain that process really quick, just like in 10 seconds
Sure.
or 20 seconds? Just
Sure.
explain how
It's
does that
not
work?
as smooth as we'd like it to be or as easy, but it's to prevent fraud that the Law Society has came up with certain requirements. So we would get onto a meeting similar to this.
Mm-hmm.
I would have you show me your ID. And then I'd have courier view the file, or you would have printed all the documents out at home. Then as you sign them, you would have to show me each page you sign, and I would have to take a screenshot of that page that you signed.
Oh, okay.
And then once all the pages are signed, I would have to send a courier to your house to go pick up the documents. You'd leave them in your mailbox. We'd pick them up, get them back to the office, and then I'd have to compare the signatures to the ones I took screenshots of to make sure it's the same documents. So still a lot of legwork involved, but again, that's to prevent fraud.
Nice. No, I mean, it still allows us to operate, right? And that's, a lot of people are scared about what's going on, and they don't even know how to maybe operate in their own business. Will there be a business when this is all said and done? And I mean, there's certain essential services, especially around real estate. People need houses. It's a commodity. They're going to need all aspects of the industry members, including mortgage professionals, the banks, the law firms, the Alberta government, land titles. All that stuff still has to function. So I'm glad to see that you're still operating from your office, right? So I mean, I know there's social distancing rules that came into effect that I have to abide by as well. So I'm glad that we're doing this without gloves on right now. But I mean, I am wearing gloves and masks as I go to showings. The clients aren't touching anything. I do take some sanitizer. I don't know if you can see that, but I do have some sanitizer I take to the showings. And then I dispose of all my garbage with gloves, and if it's a disposable mask, I throw it out afterwards in the garbage. So that's just kind of a new thing. I think there's going to be less handshakes, less hugs for the time being, but I do feel like this is going to change the way that everybody operates, right? And not just business, but also personal lives, right? So when we go to social gatherings, there's a couple of weddings that I've been invited to, but I'm not sure how that's going to proceed over the next little while, right? So are they going to do a Zoom wedding, right? And how crazy
They're
is that
doing
going to
it.
be?
They're doing it.
Yeah, they are. So
On my end, a couple. So we're now giving clients three options for signing.
mhm.
One is the one I first described, the video signing. The other is we're emailing all the documents to the client. We're actually doing the meeting over the telephone, explaining all the documents, and then the clients are coming in and doing a super fast signing in front of us at the office. They're here for no longer than 5 minutes. And then the third version of signing is more traditional as we used to do it, but the difference is I have two desks that are spaced out about 8 meters apart. I sit at one, they sit at the other, and we go through the file in a traditional manner, but with ample distance between the clients. And we've been giving the options.
Yeah. Some people still want that physical ability to come to the office and do it, right? As long as they're not in isolation or forced to quarantine. So a couple things aside from COVID. Why did you get into real estate law? And did you start as a real estate lawyer, or did you practice downtown, or how did that?
Yeah, so I started downtown as an articling student. You know, all of us lawyers in Canada, for the most part, have to article. It's like an apprenticeship. You do it for a year. During that time, you're very general and you get a taste of everything. Once I completed my articles, I knew I wanted to go into real estate because it's an area I've always been passionate about. So it was a natural extension for me to jump into the real estate focused area of the law. And I was fortunate enough, after I finished my articles, to find a gentleman selling his law practice on Kijiji, and it was a real estate practice. So he and I met, we got along really well, and we worked together for a year. From there, I decided to take over his practice, and he and I have maintained a great relationship. I've run the business now for 8 years, and yeah, couldn't be happier with
Nice. And I want to touch on last year. I think you opened up another office. So you have two offices in Calgary now?
That's right. So the original office we've had is based out of Midnapore, South Calgary.
Yep.
And what we've done is we've opened up one in the Northwest near Tuxedo. I think it's 22nd Ave Northwest and 4th Street, so near Remax Central.
Yep.
And it's been going great.
Nice. So at least your clients have an option of going to either one, whichever is more convenient for them.
Correct.
Cool. Predictions for the next year, challenges, that kind of stuff. Are you adjusting your business plan at all? I know a lot of people are talking about it. I had some goals that I'm still trying to achieve, but trying to do things a little differently. Will they be achievable? We'll see. But with regards to business planning, how's your business plan changed given the current situation that we're in?
It's changed quite significantly, I would say, because as a real estate lawyer, we earn majority of our income in the summer.
Gotcha.
Now that summer's here and we're looking at a different environment, this may end up being a break-even year or a year with not the strongest profits that we would have liked. So, I'm fortunate to have had a busy practice for 8 years. So I can take this year as is and, grow from there.
Sure. So, I mean, from a perspective of everybody that's going to be watching this video, how can they help you? I mean, how can I help you in regards to your business and vice versa? I mean, I think we're all in this together. There's going to be a lot of businesses struggling. Do you have any suggestions on providing services to certain clients, or offering, like, let's say, a little bit of help to other local businesses or people out there? Is there anything that you're doing above and beyond what you previously did to maybe try to get a little bit more business or help a few more businesses? Or how does that work?
I mean, for us, a big part of it is helping out our clients in this time with their situation. For example, today, at this very moment, I have a gentleman who's in an old age home. He can't leave. So I've had my lawyer drive to the old age home to witness the signing from behind glass. So he's going to be outside the front door and the gentleman will be on the inside. And we've done that numerous times over the past couple of weeks. And that's to aid the community and help people get these deals closed, given the fact that they may be under quarantine or unable to, come into the office and sign.
On a personal perspective, I had to do something similar to meet a newborn. My brother-in-law and his wife had a kid, and We've seen him, I think, twice before COVID, and then just every time I see him, it's through a window lately. But he keeps growing and growing, so it's kind of
Used to be the
it's better
norm.
than FaceTime, but
Yeah.
it's still not the same, right?
No.
All right. Well, I just wanted to make sure that people are aware that Zac Shlah has got 2 offices, Urban Law Group. The website is ulaw.ca or .com.
.ca.
ulaw.ca. So if you have any questions, reach out to Zach with regards to the current real estate market, how his fees are, all that stuff is available either online, or you can contact Zach directly. And I could attest that he's a great real estate lawyer. So if you have any real estate questions that your current situation might be changing, I guess we'll touch on this as a last tip. With regards to the current market, a lot of people are asking me, how's the market? Are there going to be more foreclosures? This is one question that I think I get asked a lot, but I'm not sure if you get asked that same question, because like you said, you usually see a few things after the real estate
That's right.
has already transacted, or the real estate agents have seen it first. So let me ask you this. Have you seen any more foreclosures or pre-foreclosures or any types of those questions coming up right now? And do you have any suggestions for anyone that might be facing a tough situation, either with their lender, or do you see anything coming down the pipe after all these deferrals end up maturing?
So at the immediate present, I have not seen a wave of activity in foreclosures, but if and when it's going to come in a couple months. 2-3 months is when we're going to start seeing it really come to the market.
What
My
about
suggestion-
helping? Yeah, what about
What's that?
helping people that are in that stage where they might have lost their job? Of course, Calgary's not in the best situation with regards to the oil and gas market right now, and there's layoffs happening even before COVID.
Mhm.
Now there's probably going to be maybe a few more layoffs happening in the near future. So, those people that might be struggling, any advice for them ahead of, let's say, any type of pre-foreclosure proceedings, or if somebody got a statement that would say, pay up, Liz Pendens. Like, can you give an example of what certificate of Liz Pendens means?
So CLP, a certificate of independence, means the action has commenced. The lender has already gone to court, initiated action. Now that action is reflected on your title. For people in that situation, the first attempt, especially in this market, is to try and work with your lender to see if you can get some kind of postponement on the action. During that time, given your individual circumstances, maybe it's time to reach out to your realtor and see if you can get this property sold before all the legal fees start accruing and racking up. Maybe you beat the foreclosure by getting it sold before it goes too far. If that's, if you don't believe there's any other recourse here, if you do believe that, you are going to be back on your feet, you are going to be making income again, then I do suggest you work with the lender as best as possible to communicate that.
Okay. And I know you've been a real estate lawyer for how many years now?
So eight years, strictly real estate.
So how does this compare to 2015, when we had another sort of oil crash or recession? Have you seen, from your experience of the previous recession, working through that one, did you see any short sales, any renegotiations of terms, or let's say a short sale, for example, is when somebody owes more to the bank than what they could legally get for their property, right, or physically get for their property. Have you seen any negotiation with the bank, let's say on a house that's somebody sells for 400 but they owe 450 on? Does the bank negotiate a portion of that, or do they forgive any of that, or do they just assign a separate line of credit, pay out the mortgage, and then the person's still on the hook for the total amount owing?
I've seen both.
Yeah.
I've seen it where, where I've seen both is where someone signed a personal guarantee, or they've signed extra. If it's just a straight up mortgage that you've entered into on your residential home, in that situation, most likely people are just going to be handing the keys back to the bank and saying, it's yours to sell now. But if I saw one deal that was intertwined with personal guarantees, and unfortunately that person was still on the hook for the shortfall as a result.
And is that a certain process that a bank would want to do? Like, I mean, at what point do they ask for personal guarantees? Is that at the original stage?
Not common. This was a unique deal because the person had a loan that tied into his business that he opened. He was a self-employed business owner, so his mortgage was doubled into, one mortgage on the house, one mortgage on the business. The guarantee reached over to the house and allowed them to go for that. So that was
Gotcha.
a very unique situation. Most people will, if they don't have enough, they will just hand it back to the bank.
Perfect. I know I said about 15 minutes. Thank you for being on a little bit longer. That was very helpful. I think the viewers are going to enjoy that information. Once again, this is Zac Shlah at Urban Law Group. If you want to check out his website, it's ulaw.ca, correct?
Correct.
Cool. Thanks again for being interviewed, and have a good day. Stay safe, and we'll chat soon.
Okay, you too. Thank you, Paul.
Cheers.
See ya.